The moment Wang Lin disappeared through the transfer array, countless tentacles suddenly burst from the void, wrapped tightly around the array, and instantly destroyed it before anyone could use it again. At the same time, Li Yunzi and the other powerful cultivators continued risking their lives to restrain the Moongazer serpent, creating the opportunity Master Flamespark had been waiting for. Closing his eyes, Master Flamespark shouted, "Seal!" In response, countless shattered fragments of the celestial realm rumbled violently and flew together from every direction, surrounding the Moongazer serpent in an enormous sealing formation. The Moongazer serpent roared furiously as its enormous body surged forward, driven by overwhelming rage and by the intense sense of danger it felt from Master Flamespark's preparations. However, just as it slammed into the approaching celestial realm fragments, it suddenly stopped. Its terrifying eyes became filled with fear as it stared toward the collapsing void ahead. Endless icy winds poured from the shattered space, and from within the darkness a blurry male figure slowly walked out. His appearance could not be seen clearly, and nothing about his face or clothing was distinguishable, but everyone could tell he was a man. He walked calmly without displaying any aura of aggression, yet his mere presence caused an overwhelming pressure. The severely injured Li Yunzi and the others immediately changed expressions. Even the arrogant Li Yunzi was deeply shaken after recognizing the mysterious figure and instinctively revealed respect. He immediately realized who the person was. The remaining 4 experts were equally shocked and respectfully acknowledged that Master Flamespark had actually succeeded in inviting such an existence. Master Flamespark himself became ecstatic upon seeing the mysterious man appear. As the figure slowly walked toward the Moongazer serpent, the enormous beast trembled violently. It seemed to instinctively fear the aura surrounding the mysterious person and actually began retreating step by step instead of attacking. Far away, millions of kilometers from the battlefield, Wang Lin safely emerged from space. After appearing, he immediately turned around and silently analyzed everything that had happened. He concluded that the Moongazer serpent's drastic changes must have been caused by someone powerful launching an attack against it. He remembered the ancient godchild hidden inside the Moongazer serpent asking him to bring a successor. If his original ancient god body had not remained in the Alliance star system, he might have considered accepting the inheritance. However, he remained suspicious of the ancient godchild's true intentions. He worried that the inheritance could merely be a disguise for a possession technique that would allow the ancient godchild to seize another body. Because of this uncertainty, Wang Lin decided he absolutely could not act recklessly. He then concluded that since he had already escaped from the Moongazer serpent, no one should be able to discover his whereabouts for at least a short period of time. Relieved, Wang Lin transformed into a ray of light. Ripples spread beneath his feet as he merged with the surrounding world and disappeared while traveling at extraordinary speed. After crossing an enormous distance, Wang Lin arrived in the northern domain, nearly at the opposite end of the star domain from the Moongazer serpent. There lay planet Qingling. As ripples appeared in space outside the planet and Wang Lin stepped out, he quietly gazed at the familiar cultivation world before him. Memories surfaced in his mind, and a trace of melancholy appeared on his face as he softly realized that he had finally returned home. Wang Lin immediately flew toward the planet, but before reaching it, several powerful divine senses swept toward him with unmistakable hostility. He frowned for only a moment before relaxing. Once those divine senses recognized his identity, their hostility instantly disappeared. More than 10 figures immediately shot toward him like meteors. As Wang Lin stepped onto planet Qingling, the members of the chosen Immortal clan arrived to welcome him. Their old ancestor hurried forward with excitement and respectfully called Wang Lin his benefactor. Wang Lin calmly asked whether their journey to planet Qingling had gone smoothly. The old ancestor replied that the trip had been uneventful but reported hearing along the way that the Yao family throughout the All-Heaven star system had begun an enormous hunt to track down Wang Lin. Wang Lin simply shook his head, saying that matter was already in the past and should no longer be discussed. He instructed the chosen Immortal clan to settle permanently on the planet and carefully guard it because he intended to enter closed-door cultivation for several months. After giving his instructions, Wang Lin disappeared and teleported directly to the summit of Hengyun Peak. Everything remained exactly as he had left it, including his cultivation cave. Entering the cave, Wang Lin immediately activated every formation surrounding Hengyun Peak, completely sealing the area before sitting down to cultivate. Several hours passed until night completely covered planet Qingling. Gentle starlight and moonlight entered the cave, creating a peaceful atmosphere unlike anything Wang Lin had experienced for a long time. Ever since entering the celestial realm, he had constantly faced life and death dangers. Even while hiding inside the Moongazer serpent, he had never been able to truly relax. Now, for the first time in a long period, he finally rested within his own cultivation cave. Looking quietly at the night sky outside, he reflected that although he had temporarily escaped, the Yao family's pursuit would never truly stop. Time was extremely limited, and he needed to increase his strength as quickly as possible. Wang Lin then summoned the massive ancient furnace from his storage bag. The furnace radiated an ancient aura. Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of essence origin energy that completely surrounded the furnace as he carefully refined it. He understood that the longer he refined the furnace, the greater the portion of its hidden power he would eventually be able to control. However, before using it in battle, he first needed to fully study its secrets. After some time, the enormous furnace gradually shrank into a tiny ray of light, which Wang Lin swallowed directly into his body to continue refining internally. Next, Wang Lin's shadow flickered and Ta Shan stepped out. Ta Shan had suffered severe injuries and appeared exhausted, his eyes lacking vitality. Without speaking, he sat down and obediently followed Wang Lin's command to begin healing himself. Wang Lin then turned his attention to Yao Bingyun. He removed her from his storage bag while she remained completely sealed. Her origin soul was tightly bound by the karma whip. Her body remained wrapped inside the soul flag, and hundreds of thousands of golden sealing runes covered every part of her. Wang Lin slowly formed seals with his right hand, causing the countless golden runes to rise one after another and fill the cave with brilliant golden light. After removing the runes, he also withdrew the soul flag, exposing Yao Bingyun's body completely. Her clothing had been almost completely destroyed, leaving only tattered remnants. Her face was deathly pale. Her eyes remained closed, and she appeared as though her life could disappear at any moment. Nevertheless, Wang Lin clearly sensed that an enormous quantity of origin energy still remained inside her body, because her origin soul had been separated from it. However, she could neither control nor use any of that tremendous power. Wang Lin carefully considered his options. Although refining Yao Bingyun into a celestial guard remained possible, he believed there was a more valuable use for her first. He decided to borrow her origin energy to strengthen himself. Wang Lin raised his finger and pressed it between her eyebrows. His own origin energy entered her body and quickly formed a rotating vortex. The vortex carefully absorbed portions of Yao Bingyun's separated origin energy, gradually growing larger while Wang Lin maintained perfect control over it. As soon as the vortex approached the limit of what he could safely control, Wang Lin decisively pulled it back out. Yao Bingyun's body shook violently from the sudden extraction. The remaining fragments of her clothing were completely blown away, while the extracted origin energy emerged from her body like thick smoke and filled the cave. Wang Lin immediately opened his mouth and devoured all of it. After entering his body, the origin energy was rapidly refined by his origin soul. Wang Lin's eyes shone brightly. His complexion became slightly red, and throughout the entire night his origin soul continuously refined the tremendous amount of stolen origin energy. As dawn arrived and warm sunlight entered the cave, Yao Bingyun remained lying motionless on the ground beneath the sunlight, creating a strangely beautiful yet sorrowful scene. Meanwhile, Wang Lin's origin soul had completely recovered from all previous injuries. Not only had every injury healed, but his origin soul had become noticeably stronger than before through refining Yao Bingyun's origin energy. After exhaling a mouthful of gray gas, Wang Lin immediately began the process again without hesitation. He pressed his finger between Yao Bingyun's eyebrows once more, sending another stream of origin energy into her body to create a second vortex. The new vortex continued absorbing the remaining origin energy trapped inside her. Wang Lin knew that if he could completely absorb all of Yao Bingyun's origin energy, his cultivation would increase dramatically. Once he further improved his domain afterward, he would possess everything necessary to step fully into the second cultivation step and successfully break through to the Nirvana Scryer stage. His eyes shone with determination as he continued extracting her power. A storm swept across the All-Heaven star system after the massive beast that had massacred countless cultivators was captured alive by the Thunder Celestial Temple. Although very few people knew how it had been accomplished, the result shocked the entire star system. The Thunder Celestial Temple's reputation reached an unprecedented peak. surpassing even the ancient inheritance families and becoming the greatest symbol of power in the all-heaven star system. Using this momentum, the Thunder Celestial Temple officially began the competition for the 108 celestial titles. Although the celestial realm had collapsed and true celestials no longer existed, the temple declared that those who received these titles would become the new celestials, while their families would permanently become celestial clans. During the coming war against the Alliance star system, every celestial title holder would serve as a leader, and their family would receive its own cultivation planet. Although the announcement had been made long before, its official implementation drove cultivators throughout the all-heaven star system into a frenzy. Core members from countless cultivation families set out to compete. Because there were too many participants, the Thunder Celestial Temple organized preliminary competitions in each of the 4 domains, where temple messengers would select 108 competitors from each domain for the final contest. The area within 50,000 kilometers of the Thunder Celestial Temple was declared a peace zone, and anyone who fought there would have their entire family exterminated. The competition was scheduled to begin 4 months later. Soon afterward, the Thunder Celestial Temple announced an even more shocking decision. Once the 108 celestial title holders had been chosen, the passage to the Alliance star system would be opened, and the war against the Alliance star system would officially begin. The entire all-heaven star system was consumed by excitement and murderous intent as cultivators eagerly awaited the chance to invade the Alliance star system. Meanwhile, Wang Lin remained unaware of these events because he had spent the past 10 days in secluded cultivation, continuously absorbing the origin energy contained within Yao Bingyun. He steadily refined her immense origin energy until it gradually became his own. To Wang Lin, Yao Bingyun was like a priceless cultivation pill that continuously increased his strength. After 10 days, he had refined approximately 30% of her origin energy, allowing his cultivation to reach the peak of the corporeal yang stage, only one step away from the Nirvana Scryer stage. However, the final breakthrough did not depend on origin energy but on gaining a deeper comprehension of the heavens and transforming his domain. Wang Lin focused on understanding the domain of karma, which he found far more mysterious than the domain of life and death. He realized that karma existed everywhere, yet its true nature remained hidden behind illusion. Reflecting on his own life, he concluded that obtaining the heaven-defying bead had been a karmic cause that led to meeting Situ Nan as its effect. Killing Tang Li had caused Tang Huayuan to massacre his family, while Tang Huayuan's actions became the cause that resulted in Wang Lin exterminating the Tang clan. He realized that karmic causes and effects constantly intertwined, with today's effect potentially becoming tomorrow's cause for someone else. Despite these insights, he still could not truly comprehend the essence of karma. Unlike the life and death domain that he had clearly understood, he accepted that domains could not be comprehended through force and required the proper opportunity. Wang Lin realized that cultivation became increasingly difficult not only because of the need for origin energy but because true advancement depended upon comprehension. He struggled with how to transform his abstract understanding of karma into something tangible. As he reflected further, Wang Lin remembered his experience in the demon spirit land, where ancient demon Bei Luo had helped him enter a mysterious state that allowed him to discover the flaw in the celestial slaughter art. In that state, he had perceived countless versions of himself splitting apart and merging together, a phenomenon similar to his earlier experience within the All-Seer's divine sense. He recalled that the All-Seer's divine sense contained countless versions of the All-Seer, each specializing in only one celestial spell. Looking back with his current understanding, Wang Lin realized that each version did not merely possess a different spell but embodied an entirely different Tao. Shocked by this revelation, he remembered the words of his first celestial guard, who had witnessed the All-Seer devour Sun Yun completely. Wang Lin connected these memories with the glimpse of the third step he had once seen, where every Tao ultimately returned to its true origin. Concluding that he did not know the true origin of the Karma Tao, he decided that the only way to solidify his karma domain was through devouring. He determined to devour another person's domain, comprehend the karma within it, understand it completely, and transform it into his own karma domain. With cold determination, Wang Lin pressed his finger between Yao Bingyun's eyebrows to begin carrying out this plan. Wang Lin stopped just before his fingers touched Yao Bingyun's forehead and fell into deep hesitation. He realized that devouring another person's domain meant taking their Tao for himself. But since the Tao of heaven was endless, beginning this path would force him to endlessly devour the Taos of others, ultimately following the same irreversible path as the All-Seer. At the same time, he understood that refusing to devour would leave his karma domain incomplete and impossible to fully comprehend. He was not hesitating out of compassion for Yao Bingyun but because he was facing a decisive choice about his own Tao. He reflected that every cultivator pursued a unique Tao shaped by their life, emotions, and experiences, and that everything in existence could become a Tao. He recalled that the All-Seer possessed 3,600 incarnations, each mastering a celestial spell, which Wang Lin believed represented 3,600 devoured Taos. Even after tens of thousands of years, the All-Seer had still failed to reach the third step, making Wang Lin question whether devouring countless Taos was truly the correct path. Unable to choose, he kept his fingers suspended above Yao Bingyun without moving. 3 days passed while he remained completely motionless, feeling as though 300 years had gone by. During this time, his heart was engulfed by an intense internal struggle as he repeatedly asked himself what Tao truly was. While he remained absorbed in seeking the answer, the origin energy inside his body accelerated uncontrollably until it erupted outward, forming a massive black and white vortex resembling yin and yang, perfectly united yet clearly divided. Wang Lin remained unaware of the phenomenon. His origin soul transformed back from the ancient thunder dragon into its human form, sat quietly, and raised one hand as though pointing toward the path of his own lifelong pursuit of Tao. At dawn on the fourth day, the mortals of planet Qingling continued their ordinary lives, while cultivators discovered that the sun's spiritual energy had become several times richer than normal. They found that cultivating while facing the northeast produced the greatest results, causing countless cultivators to gather within 5,000 kilometers of Hangyun Peak, where they cultivated as if worshipping the mountain. Above Hangyun Peak, black and white energy merged into a magnificent yin and yang image that illuminated the sky like a divine painting. The mysterious phenomenon shook everyone who saw it, affecting their souls with an indescribable force. An ancient voice echoed directly within the souls of every cultivator across the planet, repeatedly asking, "What is Tao?" The voice carried the weight of countless lifetimes and Wang Lin's relentless search for the truth, causing everyone to unconsciously question their own understanding of Tao. At Hangyun Peak, Wang Lin's cave collapsed into dust, leaving only Wang Lin and the unconscious Yao Bingyun beneath the slowly rotating yin and yang image. The spiritual energy of the entire planet was influenced by the phenomenon until planet Qingling itself became enveloped in black and white. A cultivator at the blood ancestors level would have recognized this as the legendary Dream Tao, a phenomenon said to have first appeared when the mortal Peng Zhu attained enlightenment through a dream, became an ancient celestial, recorded tens of thousands of Tao hearts, and gained the ability to perceive the mysteries of heaven and earth. Wang Lin entered a dreamlike state while seeking proof of his Tao. Although his origin soul remained in place, his consciousness seemed to separate from his body and merge with planet Qingling itself, as though he had become the planet. In a dense forest, a giant python strangled a small beast and prepared to devour it, but suddenly paused and looked into the distance with confusion instead of killing intent. A sigh drifted through the air, saying, "This is not Tao." The confusion vanished, the python's cold instincts returned, and it mercilessly devoured the beast before disappearing into the forest. Wang Lin wandered across the mortal world in a dreamlike state while seeking the true meaning of Tao. His presence spread across the world like a gentle breeze, silently touching countless lives and observing karma, life, death, and fate. Outside a forest, a wealthy family stopped their carriages so a young girl could release an injured little black beast she had cared for. As the breeze passed, everyone except the beast became lost in confusion. The beast sensed Wang Lin's overwhelming aura but refused to retreat despite its fear. An ancient voice declared that today's act of kindness would become a karmic cause whose effect would be fulfilled in the future. The beast then witnessed a vision of its future, where it would save the elderly version of the girl by surrounding her with white energy. After the vision ended, everyone forgot what had happened, and the girl simply wished the beast to return home. In another village, a woman scolded her child for breaking a bowl while the father silently smoked his pipe. Wang Lin's voice compared Tao to the cracked bowl, explaining that Tao was inherently imperfect and could shatter at any time. Everyone except the child forgot the event after the breeze disappeared. The child briefly saw an immortal figure ascending into the sky before the vision vanished. In the mountains, a corrupt official fled from a black-robed woman seeking revenge for her murdered family. Wang Lin observed that another cycle of karmic cause and effect had reached its conclusion. Once the breeze faded, the woman executed the official and tearfully fulfilled her revenge. Inside a rainy city, Wang Lin watched a funeral procession moving through the streets while mourners cried with both genuine grief and hidden selfishness. He contemplated whether death truly ended karma, wondering if all karmic ties disappeared upon death. Within an imperial palace, an aging emperor prepared to part with his son, who was leading the army. Wang Lin questioned what kind of karma bound fathers and sons together as he continued to observe human emotions. While drifting across the world, Wang Lin experienced countless scenes of birth, death, parental love, romance, separation, reunion, kindness, cruelty, and every aspect of mortal existence. He gradually became one with the planet itself, able to perceive every living being. Despite witnessing everything, he remained unable to answer the question of what Tao truly was. His growing confusion even affected the planet's spiritual energy, causing cultivators who absorbed it to unconsciously search for the same answer. Time continued to pass as Wang Lin's endless pursuit of Tao persisted. At a village school during sunset, a boy suddenly asked his teacher what Tao was after Wang Lin's influence reached him. The teacher replied that he only taught humanity and knew nothing of Tao. The boy later forgot why he had asked. A respected scholar named Xie was similarly questioned by Wang Lin through an ancient voice. Terrified, Xie admitted he did not know what Tao was. At another academy, a student unexpectedly asked his teacher the same question. The teacher answered that heaven itself was Tao. But Wang Lin remained unsatisfied. Throughout the entire planet, scholars, teachers, and wise men all gave different answers. Yet none could clearly define Tao. Wang Lin's confusion only deepened as he continued searching without end. Days later, scholar Xie became obsessed with the mysterious question. Unable to find peace, he wandered through the town in the rain while constantly asking himself what Tao truly was. He eventually reached a river where an old fisherman cast his net and caught many struggling fish desperately trying to survive. Watching this scene, scholar Xie suddenly gained enlightenment. He realized that the fish represented living beings. The fishing net represented Tao, the river represented heaven, and the fisherman represented the creator who controlled fate. At that instant, heaven and earth trembled as a violent wind condensed into Wang Lin. Wang Lin looked at the fish returning to the river with newfound enlightenment. Recognizing that scholar Xie had provided the insight he had been seeking, Wang Lin rewarded him by sending spiritual energy into his body and declared that since Xie had granted him enlightenment, he would grant Xie a great opportunity in return. Wang Lin experienced a tremendous breakthrough in understanding, as though the primordial thunder from the beginning of existence had exploded within his mind. He realized that the heavens themselves were not Tao. Tao was instead the will created by heaven and earth, something that every living being could comprehend and verify. To explain his enlightenment, he compared existence to fish living peacefully in a river. The river represented the heavens and the world, while the fish represented all living beings. However, an invisible net always existed within the river. That net was Tao, the laws governing the world. No matter where the fish swam, they could never escape the net. Eventually, the net would pull every fish out of the river. Once outside, they would face the laws of the world. They could either accept those laws and enter the cycle of reincarnation or break the net and rebel against fate. Cultivators were like fish desperately struggling against the net. The harder they fought, the more they resisted Tao. Wang Lin finally understood that life, death, reincarnation, karma, and every law were manifestations of Tao itself. And he realized that he had become the embodiment of karma. As his enlightenment reached completion, Wang Lin dissolved into the wind and disappeared from sight, leaving behind only the old man in the raincoat. The old man named Xie felt warmth return to his frozen body and stared into the empty sky in terror, unable to determine whether Wang Lin had been a human or a ghost. The wind carrying Wang Lin spread across planet Qingling and merged completely with the planet. Instantly, the world's spiritual energy multiplied by countless times. Hidden spirit veins rapidly formed beneath the ground. Endless spiritual energy erupted from the earth. Rivers absorbed the spiritual energy and turned emerald green, while ordinary mountains naturally generated spirit stones within their bodies and transformed into true spirit mountains. These astonishing changes occurred because Wang Lin had completely fused with planet Qingling during his dream Tao enlightenment. At that moment, he was no longer simply standing upon the planet, he had become the planet itself. While the planet had become part of him, his own enlightenment directly caused planet Qingling to undergo enlightenment as well. Wang Lin understood that humans possessed spirit and therefore could comprehend Tao. Beasts possessed souls and could likewise attain enlightenment. And everything in existence that possessed either spirit or soul had the ability to understand Tao. Extending this realization further, he concluded that a planet also possessed a soul and therefore could achieve enlightenment. While merged with planet Qingling, he sensed the soul of an entire planet for the first time. Unlike the soul of a cultivator, it possessed no independent thoughts, yet it undeniably existed. It was an enormous instinctive consciousness born from countless years of accumulated life. Death, cultivation, emotions, and existence of every mortal, cultivator, beast, and living creature that had ever lived upon planet Qingling. Remembering how the scattered demon had once drawn out the soul of a planet, Wang Lin declared that he now possessed the same ability. His voice echoed across the entire planet like endless heavenly thunder. Every corner of planet Qingling shook beneath his declaration. Countless mortals heard the thunderous voice and instinctively knelt to worship it as a divine miracle. Cultivators across the planet experienced violent tremors within their souls and likewise knelt in reverence before the overwhelming heavenly might. Among the mortals, the old man Xie stood frozen while his soul continuously trembled. He felt as though his entire being was evolving under Wang Lin's influence. The fear in his heart gradually disappeared and was replaced by enlightenment. He finally realized that Wang Lin had never been a ghost but an existence beyond his understanding. Carrying this realization, the old man silently walked away with newfound determination. As the spiritual energy throughout planet Qingling increased without limit, every nascent soul cultivator who had secluded themselves in hopes of reaching the soul formation stage suddenly discovered that the spiritual energy inside their bodies rotated with unprecedented speed. Wang Lin's enlightenment benefited every cultivator on the planet. Those who had remained trapped at the nascent soul stage for countless years finally found opportunities to comprehend their own Tao. Those already standing only half a step away from soul formation immediately gained enlightenment regarding their personal domains and successfully advanced into the soul formation stage. Wang Lin's enlightenment completely shattered the invisible limitation that had long prevented planet Qingling's cultivators from reaching soul formation. The planet itself achieved completion. It became clear that planet Qingling had never truly been a useless cultivation planet. Instead, it had merely been an immature world still growing like a child. Under normal circumstances, it would have required countless years before naturally developing complete spirit veins and becoming a genuine cultivation planet. Wang Lin's enlightenment accelerated this natural evolution by countless years, allowing planet Qingling to mature far ahead of schedule and become filled with dense spiritual energy. Hang Yun Peak, the exact location where Wang Lin achieved enlightenment, underwent the greatest transformation. Every inch of rock from its deepest foundations to its highest summit completely transformed into pure spirit stone, turning the mountain into an authentic spirit mountain overflowing with unimaginable spiritual energy. Soon afterward, an invisible force from every corner of planet Qingling began flowing toward Hang Yun Peak. Although the power could not be seen directly, every cultivator clearly sensed its existence, and even ordinary mortals instinctively felt its presence. This enormous planetary force continuously gathered into Wang Lin's body until he finally opened his eyes. His eyes seemed to contain the entire universe within them. Although his expression carried joy from enlightenment, the overwhelming majesty of the heavens naturally surrounded him. His face remained pale, yet it radiated an indescribable brilliance. His entire body emitted the aura of someone who had completely understood his own Tao and achieved absolute mastery over himself. His physical body and origin soul remained present before everyone's eyes. Yet if any cultivator closed their eyes and relied solely upon divine sense, they would find that Wang Lin no longer existed. Unlike before, when merging with the world caused his physical form to disappear completely, he now remained physically present while simultaneously existing as one with heaven and earth. Space itself seemed meaningless before him, as though distance no longer existed. Wherever his thoughts reached, karma also reached. Wang Lin gradually realized something even more frightening. Without noticing it, he had unknowingly entered into his own karma. Had he failed to achieve enlightenment, he feared he would never have awakened because countless unfamiliar thoughts had secretly entered his mind, replacing his own consciousness and manipulating him toward a predetermined path and ideal. Realizing that an unseen force had attempted to influence his destiny, Wang Lin slowly raised his head toward the heavens. His eyes became incomparably cold and filled with overwhelming killing intent. At that instant, infinite power surged from every cultivator, every mortal, every beast, every plant, and every living creature on planet Qingling. The strength of the entire planet gathered into Wang Lin's body before erupting toward the heavens. If planet Qingling represented the river, then every living being upon it was a fish struggling within Tao's net. At that moment, all of those countless struggling lives united through Wang Lin, using the power of the entire planet to challenge, resist, and rebel against the will of the heavens.